Cool, awesome. Hi there, everybody. I am Juliana Fagiardini. I'm with the OISF. I'll be your host today. Together with me, I have my colleague Peter Menev and a sir that is more known to our community than I am, Monsieur Eric Leblond. And thanks, Eric, for being here with us today. Thanks folks who have already joined us, wherever you are in the world. Eric, I want to share a few slides before you start, if that's fine.
Perfect. I can stop sharing and give you the link.
Thank you.
Should have it.
There it is. Just want to do my usual presentation. Before I get started with that, people, if you have questions, please use the Q&A section. And feel free to use the chat for cheating our awesome speaker. All right, so shall we kickstart? Or do we give people, let's give people 1 more minute, because it's like, I'm eager to start, but we can.
I'm watching the counter now. I'm watching it now.
It's the final countdown. If you don't have your water, your coffee, your beverage of choice, I should have coffee, I don't yet, but I will. Feel free to grab that. We will start in 1 more minute, because yeah, now it's my turn to lose the chat, Eric. This just things about the interface. So yeah, it's getting very, very close now. It feels like it's tomorrow. I'm talking about SuriCon, of course. I feel like, oh my gosh, it's starting tomorrow and I don't have my slides ready. That's my feeling about SuriCon at the moment. Okay, folks, a minute has passed, so now I'll for real kickstart this. Once again, welcome everybody. This is another webinar of the PreSuriCon webinar series. This is something that we started last year. It's a chance for us to accommodate some of the talks that were submitted for SuriCon, but maybe because they would benefit from a longer format, maybe because people will not be able to join us for SuriCon, we invite them to the webinars, and this is also a great way to build a hype for our conference that is happening this year, next month in Montreal. And today with me, as I said, I have Eric Leblond, or Eric. And before I give the floor to him, just a few words about OISF. We are on OISF means Open Information Security Foundation, and we are a US-based nonprofit. We are organized to build community and to support open source security technologies like Suricata. Funding for us comes from donations from world-class security organizations committed to our mission. And if you want to check more about those organizations or become one, you can check our consortium members page. That would be oisf.not/consortium. We like to talk about our team. So here you have a beautiful picture of us in sunny Amsterdam and some of our past outreach interns. We are in another outreach contribution phase right now. So I hope some of our applicants will watch this webinar too. In case you joined us today and somehow don't know what Suricata is, we are an IDS, an IPS, an NSM, which means that we are able to monitor your traffic on-premise and on the cloud to provide data insights and information related to protocol transactions, network flows, PCAP recording. We can extract file from transactions, and if we have rules, we generate IDS alerts. We can also prevent traffic in IDS mode. These days, we talk a lot about AI, and Suricata is great for generating data for training your AI with all that was said. And this is pretty much what I wanted to do as a means for introduction. I don't think I have to introduce Eric. As I said, he's more known to our community than I am. He's been here for much longer than I do. I love his talks. Eric, welcome again. Please, the floor is yours. Thanks for being here with us.
Thanks a lot for the introduction. Let me try to find the share button somewhere in Zoom.
It's
Working?
Okay. View slideshow. Do you see? Oh, yes. No, okay. It just took 10 minutes.
Ha!
Okay, so
Working.
do you see
It's
my
Don't
working.
touch
screen?
anything.
Okay. Okay, so let's go for it. So, yes, basically I burned my introduction, so it has already been done, so I'm going to skip that. I'm currently one of the founder of CTO of Stamus Networks. So we are doing one product which is a clear NDR that exists in two flavors: the community, which is open source, and the enterprise, which is paid for product built on top of Suricata, like all the good things. Stamus, we are doing a lot of contribution to open source, and I wanted to share some of them. So Peter and myself have written a book, the Suricata Analysis Guide to Suricata, but we also have clear in their community on the on some rule set that you can use with Suricata. And one thing I wanted to talk to you about today is the Suricata language server. So when I seen the abstract and I discovered it was 3 years ago, I was a bit like, what? 3 years have gone already? That's kind of strange. Okay, so the first time I was doing a webinar on Suricata language server, I ended up on Twitter when Twitter was still a thing. Yeah, and somebody was crying about writing Suricata signatures because, or not, some people think it's the same. We all know it's not the same. Because when you see the signatures, it's kind of more than 100 keywords now, complex syntax, so it can be really painful to edit. If you have no tool, what you are going to have is that you need to write the signature, check the syntax, check that it is matching, refine the signature, check the performance, refine the signature. So it's a loop process. Getting the syntax right from the first time is definitely something complicated. So getting help from the tools will be really, really helpful. So as I'm French, I'm lazy, and so I decided to fix the problem once to not have to suffer when I try to write a signature. So I did develop a Suricata language server, which is an implementation of a language server protocol for Suricata rules or signature. So what is the language server protocol? It's a standard communication between the IDE/text editor that allow the editor to benefit from the understanding of one language by an external tool, which allow you to bring the feature on the understanding of the language to the editor itself or IDE. And so you have autocomplete, go-to definition, final reference, warnings, performance hint, everything is doable. So Suricata language server is an implementation of that, so it will provide you this feature, which is syntax checking overrule, performance hint, rule optimization, detection engine optimization with fast pattern, auto-completion, documentation access, and stuff like that. In your preferred editor. It's not linked to any tools because it's a server that is implementing a standard interface. So it works with Visual Studio Code, NeoVim, Cat, Sublime Text, and I think a few other ones. Usually it works straight out of the box if you have a prerequisite. So in VS Code, it is looking like that. For example, you have one signature that is here. And you've got the error, you've got the information about some potential things. So for example, I don't know if you knew But if you have a signature two times the same signature identifier in the same file, but one has a revision that is higher from the other one is going to be used and not the first one. That's I don't know how we came with this idea, but that's kind of funny to use. So all of these type of tricks that can be painful are shown to us directly in the diagnostic view, so that's really convenient. You also have completion here in NeoVim. We see the old style completion. We are going to show you that with Suricata language server 1.0.0, we have something a bit different with some morphing. And yeah, so what does it provide to you? But before, potentially, I will do a little demo, not switching off the screen sharing, because we all know what is going to happen if we do that. Yeah, so let's load a file. So what did happen behind? So what did happen behind? The Suricata has been run in engine analysis mode to be able to get the information. And we have the diagnosis that come here. It's a clean rule set. So we just have information about fast pattern, about I'm looking at Juliana here virtually about the rule type. So it works. This one is on application transaction. This one is on the stream. So TCP stream in this case. And that's what you get. And if you want to add a new signature, you can just type. Okay, so GitHub is proposing me something. Any event message. The typo. If I do that, I should have, yes. I'm missing something. So you need to save to get the thing coming. Okay, content Toto. No, not yes. I want to look at some TLS LPN, why not? So I got here the information about what it is. So it's a sticky buffer. And SNI, yes, that one I want. I want the sticky buffer to match on the ALPN, so application layer protocol. And I want to have anything HTTP, which is one of the possibilities with this field. And yep, see, it's perfect. And one on the revision. Revision 1. So the same thing will happen if I save. It will redo the thing, and then it will tell me that I do stupid stuff because protocol has been set to HTTP, and then I try to use the TLS keywords. So for sure, it's not okay. So I can just fix that. And up. We have a duplicate signature ID because I did not increase that, so I need to increase. And then, yep, we're good. So as you can see, we fix multiple mistakes in the signature in one single shot, just saving the file, get you the diagnosis and the information about the signature. We have a set of detection. For example, the first one is really common. Is when you do really simple signature, you're going to have a message like this one: rule inspect server and client side, consider adding a flow keyword. Here it's just because when you do alert TCP, then you have content. It is going to match on the packet and then on the stream, in fact, because it's TCP that goes in the direction of the server and the packet on the stream coming from the server. So we are doing inspection in both sides, which can be something that you want, but in a lot of cases, what you really want is to just have one other side, because you are looking or in the answer or in the response when you are doing a simple match like this one. So in this case, you would specify one directionality information, so flow established to client, to say that you want just to look in one single direction. So impact, you divide the cost of the rules by 2 because you are just going to look at one side. It also can warn you when you are missing some HTTP keyword. So for example, if you do content get / Toto, it really looks like an HTTP request, even more because we're on the HTTP context with the first keyword. So it is going to say that, yeah, potentially you want to look at the HTTP request line or HTTP method instead. So why is it interesting to do that? Because here, if you write it like this, the first keyword is just going to tell you that you are going to look at a flow that is HTTP, and then you have a content match, which by default is a TCP stream match. So we are going to look at the TCP stream. But here, in fact, we just want to look at the headers of the HTTP request, which will be available in the HTTP request line or HTTP method, if we just want to do the get and then the URI. And which means that this signature on here will match, in fact, on any flow over HTTP that contains get/Toto. So if I send you this text over HTTP, it will match also, even if the URL is not Toto, because get/Toto is inside the URL. Mixed content, it's when you have raw match, so match on the TCP stream mostly, and match on the application layer. So here, for example, we've got content/Toto on HTTP user agent that set the context to match to look for Sirius. So here we have something that is going to look at the TCP stream and look at the application layer at the same time. So it's confusing. It forces the signature to do some strange thing. So that's a fix by just looking at the protocol because you want to work on HTTP. So let's not leave the context of HTTP. Fast pattern is really important. For the one who don't know, it's what gives Suricata the capability to evaluate really fast the signatures, because if you look at what we have in the wild, commonly used, ET-Pro or ET-Open, the two rule set from Proofpoint, there are more than 60,000 rules, which means that if you are running a Suricata at 40 GB per second, you have 0.05 nanosecond per rule if you do a linear evaluation. So it means that it's almost below a CPU cycle, so it's just not possible to do an evaluation of content matching at this speed. So we need to have heavy optimization to be able to go past that. The main one is the multi-pattern matching, which consists in simple, so efficient ID, which is to evaluate multiple rules at the same time. This is done by looking at the content match and then picking one of the content match in the signature and looking at all the content match on the to do a one pass evaluation of all the content match. On the way, so for example, if you have something that is matching on HTTP header, matching on the HTTP body, we are going to select, Suricata is going to select one of the pattern as the fast pattern, put it in the pattern table on all, for example, if the HTTP header has been chosen, it is going to look at the HTTP header for all the content match all at once for the one who have a fast pattern in, and then evaluate the signature. So I'm going to do a small demo that will be easier. So let's start clean. Okay, let's do HTTP because it's a good old thing. Okay, let's try to do something stupid. So as you can see, AI is proposing you all this type. By the way, it was fun because if I do undo, you will see that this keyword is in fact content modifier that you should not use, so that's why it's strike out. Don't use that. The correct way to write it is http://method. Here we have a sticky buffer, so it's going to work. And okay, so example as a HTTP method make no sense, but we're not here to make sense. And then we can do something like that. Photo, and then we can save. So, well, I don't know how to count. That's interesting. Okay. Oh, that's funny. Okay, let's do something else. Yeah. Okay, I did not know that HTTP method is going to take over HTTP UI. That's interesting. Okay, so what is happening here is that the fast pattern by default is picked by Suricata using the longest string. So here the string is 4 and 3, so 7, and here the string is 4 and 3, so 5. So Suricata, to be able to differentiate things, is going to pick the first fast pattern. So it's nice, but sometimes it's going just to be a mistake. And one of the best mistakes is this one. That's a common one. You want to check that you have Mozilla and that you are running on OS6 in the same HTTP user agent. Yep. So here it is going to match on Mozilla, but in fact Mozilla is so common in all the header from HTTP user agent, which means that this rule will be evaluated all over the place. So that's not a good idea. So what you should do in this case is to use the fast pattern keyword and move the fast pattern to OS6, which is less common from Mozilla in the HTTP user agent. So this is going to help you to, this feature is going to help you in, sorry, I should have make it bigger. It's going to help you in the analysis and the writing performance rules. And we are really talking about a huge improvement. Yeah, so that's what I show you was basically the beginning of Suricata language server. So what was implemented from the start. Over the years, some other usage and capability have been added. One of them is the batch mode, which allow you to run the check from the command line. So that's quite convenient, and it's going to just test it, include it in CI or stuff like that, include it in other tools. So just use batch file option, then you can link it to a Suricata binary. So if you have multiple versions of Suricata, you can even get different analysis based on the thing and check that everything is compatible with your different version of Suricata. We are going to see a little trick about that a bit later. And if you don't want to do the engine analysis that is costly and just get the fact that the syntax is correct, you can disable the engine analysis. There is a flag for that. So there you will just check that the syntax is valid for your Suricata language server. We are using Suricata language server as a library in ClearNDR community and enterprise. And the concept is just that we want to check the signature that we inject, that we download or upload on ClearNDR. So we want to check their validity and also explain them so we can show them in a nice way. And the way it is done is by using Suricata language server to analyze in batch, but inside the library, the signature. So we create the long server and with no connection because we don't want it to be a server, even if it's named long server. And then we are going to check the rule buffer that we are going to provide by just opening the file that we want to test. And then after we can access to the result. And this allows us to analyze the validity, show the performance issue in the system. I've recently done an analysis on the keyword available, so in the different version of Suricata. To improve, so I did improve the Suricata language server. It is now displaying, as you may have seen, the date the keyword was, not the date, but when the keyword has been added. So here, the sticky buffer for HTTP URI were introduced in 5.0. On the last version, it is we did the test was available also in 8. So it allows you to see keywords that have disappeared potentially. There is some of them. So I don't remember one out of my head now. But yes, it gives you the information. So if you have different version of Suricata, like your local Suricata, because we are using a local Suricata for Suricata language server is 8, but you need to deploy on 7. You can check the availability here in 7. If your main version is 8, then in this case, you will have quite an issue. So I think that we should have some LDAP keyword. Yes. Okay, that have been 8 introduced in 8. So here, as you can see, LDAP request DN, just 8 on 8. So you can know now that if you are using Suricata 7, you are kind of in trouble and you cannot use this keyword. So better to update to the latest, sexiest version of Suricata. Yeah, so yeah, just a little parenthesis. It's not really linked to Suricata language server, but it's really useful. So I wanted to pinpoint that. There is this requires keyword that is really awesome. It allows you to know the Suricata engine that it needs to skip the signature if it does not have the feature or if it's not the correct version. So here, for example, we know that this signature that will have this information inside will need to have GeoIP built-in, and that the version need to be above 7. And you can use that to set min and max version and get multiple versions of the signature working all together. So for example, if you have the dataset, you want to use the dataset with your IOCs, you can do requires version less than 8, but if you also have a JSON version with more information and more context, come to SuriCon to see my talk about that. You can have you can specify requires over 8 because it appear on 8, did appear on 8, and because of that, we can have 2 signatures, one optimized for one version, one optimized for another version that are in the same rule file. So you can ship that if you have Suricata 7 or Suricata 8 running. Yeah, so for long, I was struggling with one thing when working on Suricata language server, which was that sometimes there is some specificity of a configuration that that exist, and so you could potentially fix it. Don't remember the version of my own software like everybody that is a developer. So Suricata-help, yes, you can specify your config with Suricata language server. So just point it to your config and it should work. But yeah, it's not optimal because you may not have the same directory that are set, or in some case you can have absolute path in the rules. So yeah, that's complicated. For example, you could also have variables that are not part of your files. Yeah, so that's a problem, and it ends up that you start to write a signature and it's just failing. So for example, let's say that I'm working on a new concept. Which is to basically protect my gateways that are not supposed to connect out to internet. They are just there, so they are not. For example, I got a VPN gateway. So I got my VPN gateway that is going to go on external net. Net and any here. message outgoing from VPN. Outbound from VPN network. I do that. Only if I save this. Yes. Yes, it's not working because I'm stupid. But if I do something like any TCP coming from the probe, I got this error. VPN gateway is not defined in the configuration file, which means that if I put something stupid, that should still work. I will still have this error because this error is evaluated at the beginning, so I cannot see that my signature is completely not correct. So the way to do it is to, and that's what I came is to it's I'm going to go back here, sorry. Is to use the following method. I did add the capability to add commands in the files to specify a specific option for Suricata. So that's what we have here. So here I can set my address group for a gateway server, and I will be able to use it. So I can set it to a random value. So the way it is done here. So presentation mode. So I can do it like this. So I will do just what's the syntax SLS as a prefix. And then the option is a Suricata option. And I will use the wonderful --set option that allow you to set anything inside the configuration file when you are running Suricata. And what I want to set is the address group VPN gateway here. Sorry, I lost my mouse. So yeah, and I want to set it to 1.17. In fact, I don't really care as long as it's an IP. It should work better. So if I do that, should do something. Is it doing something? No. Okay. What did I do? Okay, let's git restart just to be safe. Yep, no, VPN gateway is not defined. So what I have done, set var Zagreb group. Did I do a typo or some typo? Suricata option. Suricata option. SLS, set vars. Alors, group gateway server I get. Yeah, that's interesting. What did I miss? Okay. Address group, VPN gateway. Is it the same one? Yep. Var address, vars address. Did I misspell something? Don't think so.
I don't
Eric,
see
I think
anything.
you have VPN gateway, but the address var says gateway. Go back to the previous slide.
Yeah, I just defined, in fact, I just defined this new variable and it should take it.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be the same. All right, sorry about that.
Yeah, it does not have to be the same. Yeah, you can put a new variable here because it's a set.
Maybe it didn't reload or
okay.
something there.
Okay, yeah. Let's do it like let's do it clean. So my Suricata is this one. So I can do a dash config. I should now have some address here. So it's var address group. Okay. So if I do the --set, what was the file? It was gateway.rules. Okay, yep. Okay. So if I do that, then set var address group VPN gateway equal that. And I redo the grep because a bit too many people. I now have my VPN gateway that is set. So VPN gateway should be set. The V off. Yep. Let's adjust. Sorry. Yeah, as well as version. And just double check. Pip install for that, but I already have done it, so it should be good. Not in the good directory.
So we have Andreas Dolp asking if the space at the beginning of line 1 matters for
yes, okay.
processing that.
That's quite possible. Okay, so my correct syntax was set vars equal, and yeah, I need to check that's a good thing. No,
Thanks, Andreas. Debugging live is
yes.
always cooler.
Sorry, so is it that instead?
Was it the space?
Yes, let me check. I think I did document it. Editor configuration visual selector. Dataset directory handling, yes. And before Suricata option. No, so dash dash dash. No, it should be that. Wow. Okay. Suricata option.
The space before the the symbols, the very first space. Before, what do you call the hashtag?
Yes, there is a space. Yes, you're right. The space before. Oh, my bad. Okay. Okay. And now it should work. Yes. Okay. Oh, sorry, guys. Yes.
You can ask him to help you with debugging.
I'm sorry. Yes. Okay. So that was kind of working. I just missed this space at the beginning. Yeah. Okay. So it was seen as a regular command because of that. Potentially a little patch that could help for the next demo. Thanks for the feature concept. And now that your variable is different, so you can just do whatever you want to do. And yep, it is going to do the analysis. You can fix your signature on the setup will be done. So you can potentially do that, for example, to activate Lua scripting. If Lua scripting is not activated or some other features, there is a bunch of usage for this one. Address group is not the single one that you can use. Another problem I got was in some case you want to be able to have a dataset signature that is going to load a set of IOC, and you want to specify the full path, but you don't have the full path on your system. So you can use the same trick. Dataset here, path to dataset, and it's going to substitute that, basically replacing the slash by underscore and creating a path. A file with in the temporary folder that we are using to do the evaluation. So it's going to change that and it's going to work transparently. Yes. Okay. The future. So what we have, yes, still we are limited to, I don't think we can break that. Suricata, oh, I forgot that Suricata 8 is really faster in evaluating the signature, so potentially it could just work now. Currently we have a limitation at 1000. Before it was taking 30 seconds to validate, but I think Suricata 8 really boosts the signature loading. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's the case. Currently we have no completion for the keyword option. So for the keyword option with the S, which means that because the syntax where you have, for example, dataset with some option, there is no way we can get the option from Suricata. So we can potentially do that outside, but currently we have some limitation due to that. So it means that we cannot have completion inside the keyword option. So I can maybe just show you because it would be easier. So for example, if I want to do some dataset here, here I got nothing. I don't know. Yes, like you can see, I just got the completion from the README. I don't know that is basically or is set or set because the way Suricata is parsing the keyword is unstructured. So that's a problem here. So we can do a lot, but we have already, I did start to do syntax highlighting because here I'm using one module that is doing Suricata highlighting, but I did start to implement highlighting from directly the language server, so it's going to come in the next release, so potentially around SuriCon, I hope. And yes. On one thing I'm a bit disappointed because there is the performance analysis that is really cool, where you can run Suricata on a pcap file and then it's going to output the cost of the signature. So that is currently not used, but potentially we can do it in the CI or in some other place, because it's definitely something that is going to take time if you want a correct evaluation. It's not with 10 packets that you're going to have an idea of the performance impact. So yeah, potentially evolving a little bit SLS to bring some CI tools for people that write Suricata signature could be something I will go to. And yes, let's cover what I see as the future of Suricata language server. So yeah, if you see space, it's easy to use. Give you a lot of information. Thanks a lot for the Suricata developers. Sometimes they develop keywords like getting the application protocol that I just have been able to use to be able to list the keywords that you can use. And if you have any feedback on the idea of contribution, they are more than welcome. It's on GitHub and you can use it easily. Yes, and if you have question, I'm here.
Thanks, Eric. That was really cool. I like how there's always something new that you were adding. There's the dates for SuriCon, I believe, are not correct.
Oh,
but
yes,
I will
did change the date and I did not change the. Yeah, it's in November 22 to
19
22.
to 21.
19
And
to
then we have
21.
the
Okay,
trainings.
okay. So plus 10.
Yeah. But I'll be talking about those in a bit. People,
Yeah,
oh,
sorry.
I see one question. Peter, do you want to start or do I go with
Yeah,
Thomas?
absolutely.
There is a question.
I was waiting out for the. So, Eric, there's some questions here from the audience, and also I have a few of mine. So surprising. So, question is. Yep. Sorry. Go ahead.
I see the question. I will answer the question for Soner Tari. Okay, so that's kind of easy to see. So it should work. Okay, so here I'm going to do that. So when you got the first.
Should we read the? Do you want to read
so
the question?
Is the following: is
Okay.
the scope of the analysis is the primary function focusing only on one single file, or does it look at multiple files for conflicting rules? So there is kind of that, but not to the point that is asking the question. We are not going to be able to address. Got a new already. Okay, I'm just going to do that. We are not going to address advanced conflict like one drop, one pass, like checking the full engine. It's outside of the scope, but something like that. Currently, we don't see the conflict, so that's a good feature ID. I should just be able to do it. Here we got twice the same thing, but the only thing that we have is that we are checking the fast pattern to see duplicate of fast pattern, but I'm not checking because I'm stupid the duplicate of SID. So thanks Soner Tari, that's one of the best ID I've seen on Suricata language server since long. So we are going to at least have the conflict on duplicate rules because that's really easy to do. I'm almost there because I can already do the fast pattern. So I should be able to do that. That's a nice feature ID. And for the rest, when you are talking about one pass, one drop, wow, that's for me outside of the scope. I don't think I want to do that.
Okay, so I have a few questions to follow up, if that's all right, of course, because I see no more questions being asked. Can you talk a little bit, if you don't mind, Eric, about if somebody wants to use the Suricata language server, is it okay to use it with Suricata 7 or Suricata 8? Are there any limitations, things to know about, to be aware of, things like that?
Yeah, so in fact, the way it is working is that we are using, I can show you my config. Today, git engine config. Should have it in the thing. Yep, it's here. So that's my configuration. So you are going to have to use your own Suricata. So here, forget about the huge path to the Suricata language server. What is important here is the option that I'm passing. So I'm using Suricata binary from my build as a developer. But if you change Suricata binary to another one, you can test a different version of the tool. And you are going, so the best thing to do is to match the version of the Suricata with the one you have in production, so you will have no surprise. But you can also do things like this. Should have this in the history. Yeah, like I'm going to test this. Yeah, okay, the history is not good. It's not the same. A good file name is this guy here. So here I'm going to run the batch mode with Suricata 8, but I also have a Suricata 7 running. So you can have the analysis done in Suricata 7. So if I do this one, wow, okay. If I do that, sorry. No, that's okay. So yeah, so you can have a multiple version of Suricata. The better is to, it's hard to currently it's not possible currently to test multiple versions of Suricata on the same file, but in batch mode, like I show you, you can specify the binary. But in the editor, it's not possible. You can just have one setting. That would be already complicated and overkill to do that. So better is to have the same version of Suricata to get the keywords with the one you have in production. On the completion, everything is going to be done with regard to this Suricata that you have installed locally. Like the completion database is built dynamically using Suricata information.
I have a...
All right, thank you. Sorry, Jules, go ahead.
I wanted to ask if you have incorporated somehow hooks as well.
Hooks?
Yeah, Suricata hooks that show to which part of the detection step. This is new to 8, I think. It's they were developed, I think, as part of the firewall mode, but we can use them also
yes,
outside.
the one you put at the beginning on stuff like that to explain what you want to do. No, currently I've got no parsing at all of these guys.
Okay.
For me, it's a sub option. And the one of the only hard-coded thing is the alert, the first keyword. So, rules. As you can, don't know if I got a completion, but here I don't even have a completion here. Yeah, at the beginning. I don't have a lot of completion at the beginning. The beginning is quite complicated to parse, so the real completion come after the parentheses.
Yeah. I was thinking that with the hooks, the explanations could be cool. Also curious about...
Yeah, I did not run engine analysis of this rule. I never did test it, so if you can provide me one, I can...
Okay. Oh, while Peter is asking stuff, I can check what we have in Suricata verify, because we have rules
Oh,
there.
perfect. There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
There is another question from Soner Tari. So there is a bit of logic in SLS, but mostly we act as a proxy or an interface to the Suricata engine. There is a few tricks inside the code, but 95% of the code is there. So it's OpenBSD. It works on Windows. So if it is not working on OpenBSD, OpenBSD has a problem. Yes, it should.
What's the problem of OpenBSD? Sorry?
Yeah, it should work on Open. Sonartari is asking if it's working on OpenBSD. I definitely should. It's Python installed via pip,
Okay.
so it should work.
Cool, thank you. Question. With respect to something new in Suricata 8 that is actually kind of, I think, groundbreaking, is the so-called transactional rules that you can actually check both the server and the client at the same time directions. So you don't have to write multiple rules, you can just use one. My question is, since this is a new Suricata 8 feature and all that stuff, SLS supports that, it's so good, or there's tips and tricks,
So
anything like that, just your comment?
I'm using Suricata 8 behind.
Yeah.
So I should be able to do content check URI Toto, and then http.status. I did never start to test it, so no, http stat code, for example. No, stat message.
Yeah.
HTTP response status message, yes. And then a content, something like that.
But I think the the direction you should change it in front. It's there is a stanza.
Rule with, okay,
Yeah.
so yes, as you see, never did test it, but because we're using Suricata, we basically end up with yeah, that works.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
That
was a live test.
Yes, live test, but there is a little bug on considering adding a flow keyword, which makes really no sense here. So the engine analysis need to be patched.
Okay.
I've shared a firewall rule in the chat. I don't know if.
Okay, where is the chat? Where is the chat?
Oh, it's difficult to
The
find
webinar
it.
chat, sorry.
Yeah.
Webinar chat. Okay. On the Q&A. Oh yeah, I got 6 more things available here. Okay, should be. Wow. Okay.
Did you manage to find their component?
Yes, it's just that it's completely weird. It was showing, not showing, not showing. Okay, okay, I did click it. Yes, I got it. Yeah, accept hook. Okay, so that we definitely are going to need a patch for this guy. Yep, no. Yep, super.
I like the Z shell coming up.
Yes. Acceptation is only supported for firewall rules. I am missing something.
Was that exact like copy paste the full line?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, I'm muted. It is. I can check the file, but it's.
So as you can see, it already sees that it's a firewalling rules. That's the beauty of
That's the good news.
using on Suricata output.
Yeah, that's cool.
So in essence, you could use it for writing the firewall rules. I mean, the engine is aware of it, so
So
it's
going
no
to do
problem.
the syntax checking correctly. Yeah. It should do the syntax checking correctly. Potentially there is a dash set that we need to set to say that firewall rule is activated, but we can fix it with the SLS option that we have seen in the
Roger that.
In the webinar. Yeah.
I also have a final question, but that's final. That's the last.
Final. That's final.
Yep.
Okay. Jules, anything from you?
I only have to wrap up the webinar, so if you have more questions to Eric.
Right. Yeah. Go. So one last one. Out of curiosity, thanks you, sir. So Eric, if you have like a magic wand, what would you like to add to the SLS today, for example? What do you think is like that we need?
The option parsing, like I would like to be able to do dataset on that got not from GitHub Copilot, but from the engine, the explanation of the option.
So how do you mean the explanation from the?
Because you need to do something like ESET IOC, is it save, is it load, is what it is now. So
You mean to be given the option instead of start typing?
Yeah,
I got you.
you need to know the option by heart. He's going to check the syntax, but he cannot propose you the syntax here.
Okay.
For me, that's something that we will need a lot of work in Suricata, because all the option parsing will need to be redesigned to be able to export the syntax.
Sounds like a feature request. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, but it's a big
Okay.
one.
A
so
big one,
I'm
a
not
big
sure
one.
it's worth it, because it means that the 140 keywords, you will not all of them, because some have no option, but all the keywords with option, you will need to parse this option.
Could checking the documentation be a workaround? I know it's not great, but
yes, but it means that you need to have your you will need to update for every version, but which change a little bit the concept, but for at least for the common keywords that will already be a plus. Yes, that could be an option, or a simple, correctly formatted string that could be exported when we do the list keywords with the option syntax. That will work too. Huh? I'm talking about this option here.
Yeah, that.
If we were doing something like this, keywords, I'm writing reverse today. Yeah. Here you got the option, and potentially we could add the option in this output. That could then work.
Could be a workaround.
Yes.
Cool.
Because we've got the no option keyword, as you can see here, but we don't know what are the option when they are set. So putting the syntax here could be helpful.
Got you. All right, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. That was all the questions from me. Thank you.
I let the share to Juliana.
Yeah. People who have joined and are here until the very end, thank you. It's the top of the hour, so I'll just wrap up. As I said, if you are not with our community yet, do join us in our forum and the Discord. Those are great places for you to ask questions, to share what you are doing, exciting things you are doing with Suricata, learn about events, about webinars. We post everything there. Learn more about SuriCon, and be with our community. We've spoken a lot about it. SuriCon is happening in Montreal in November, so basically in a month. We have the agenda live. There are still sponsorship spots, and if you want to check the agenda or the archives for the past SuriCons, suricon.net is the place. We have 3 pre-SuriCon trainings this year. One is with the great Monsieur Leblond, the other with the awesome Mr. Peter Pavma, Peter Menev. What was that? And we have 2 also long-time contributors of our community, Dave Wharton and Travis Green, giving another one for road writing. Those folks know what they are doing, so you have 3 options to come a bit earlier, spend the week with us, and learn even more about Suricata. Everything is suricon.net/trainings, and we have bundled tickets. We hope to see you there. I know it's not easy, but if you can, that will be awesome. We also have the possibility to join online, so check that if that would be better for you. Once again, thanks a lot, Eric, Peter, everyone who joined us today, who asked questions. See you now live in November. That's it.
Bye.
Definitely. Thank you very much, folks. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Jules.
Bye. Awesome sauce.
Bye. See you at Suricon. Ciao.
Stop share.
Bye.
Yeah, awesome. I'll end the webinar now. I think I did not stop the recording, but I will now.
Okay.